Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. If you're new, my name is Sarah. Welcome. So, today is a little bit different, I think, than anything I've done before. I mentioned in my last video that I have been under the weather a little bit. And honestly, my kitchen kind of took the brunt of that, and it's stressing me out. I don't know about you guys, but a calm, peaceful household for me kind of starts with my kitchen being nice and put in order. So I thought maybe we could hang out today while I tried to get the kitchen in order. One of the things that is involved in that is I've been labeling my jars of peach salsa that we made not long ago. I need to find somewhere to put them. I have peaches and cherries I need to put away. And I need to find somewhere to put all these butternut squash. That will go a long way to getting my table cleaned off. But dishes, my stove is kind of a mess. I have produce that needs to be put away. And it's not unusual this time of year for the counters to have produce on them, but it's just kind of piling up and I need to do something with it before it goes bad. So I thought this is real life and you guys may relate. Sometimes you just need to take a day and reset and get things in order. So that's what we're going to do today. And I thought maybe also we would make one of the favorite things we have been making for lunch lately. It's so good. And I thought I would share it with you. So on to finding somewhere to put these peach salsa jars. Guys, one of the things that's a little bit difficult where I live is we don't have basements. Most of us live on slabs. Maybe if you have a lot on a hill, you might get a walkout basement, but our water table is just too high. And so finding places to put your canned goods is kind of difficult. So we actually bought this cabinet at a estate sale 2 years ago, I think. And I think it used to be a TV cabinet actually, because there's a big gap here. You can see I have some white shelves and some wood shelves. Maybe someday I'll paint them. I don't know. But our neighbor, God love him, he cut new shelves for us and I drilled new holes in to put, I don't even know what they're called, but the little things that help hold your shelves in place. And we were able to add 3 extra shelves in here. This has given us a bunch more storage space for our canned goods. But I'm realizing now that I sat down here that I actually have quite a bit of space that's opened up and I can get some new things in here. So do a little bit of rearranging, seeing things I'm going to need to can soon too. Like our favorite chili. It's one of my favorite pantry staples. Only have 2 jars of that left. But now I can put some of those things off the table in here, and that's going to be helpful. I don't know about you guys, but I have canned goods stashed probably in like 4 or 5 rooms of the house. Just wherever there's room, under beds, in cabinets like this. Because it's only me and my mom, we've turned one of our closets into a pantry in one of the bedrooms. Perfect. I don't think I remembered that fit 6 pint jars. Y'all, look at how huge the cherries were this year. They're beautiful, but they're gigantic. I was looking at them compared to last year's cherries, and they're like double the size. Fantastic. 12 jars off of my counter. I just need to do a little peeking around and see if I can figure out if I can fit that salsa in here too. That would be excellent if we could get it put away. I don't know if I talked about this, but I have a lot of these and we have not actually eaten them. I don't know why. We love them. You can can slices of green tomato, drain them later, and make fried green tomatoes. And it's delicious. And kind of a taste of summer in the middle of winter. I am going to need to do that. But it sure doesn't look like I'm going to need to can any more of them this year. What is this? Enchilada sauce. Ooh, we should make enchiladas sometime soon. So I managed to shuffle things around and make room in here for the peaches, the cherries, and the peach salsa. That's 24 jars off of my tabletop. That's a huge help towards getting the kitchen cleaned up. So on to something else. I figured out another thing I could do to clean the table off was eat the very last of our fresh peaches. Get this basket off the table. Not really a chore. I'm gonna miss the fresh peaches, but just something to look forward to again next year. Almost done with the dishes. I'm very happy about that. Although, let's be real, dishes are the never-ending chore. It's sort of like lamb chop. There's a song that never ends. But even if just for a few hours the dishes are done, I'm going to be really happy about it. Get my sink nice and scrubbed and clean. I've been thinking about these butternut squash. I currently have what's left of my potatoes I harvested in a bathroom that really only gets used when we have overnight guests. And I'm thinking that might be a good place to put the butternut squash as well. Because it's dark all the time, no windows, and it stays pretty cool because it's more to the north side of our house. So that would be a good place for them, I think. Get our sink nice and scrubbed out. It's been a few days since I've done this, and it really needs it. These white enamel sinks. If you ever think about getting a white enamel sink, just know they take more work than you realize. Sometimes I miss my stainless steel sink. Didn't scratch up easily, didn't stain easily, but this sink is pretty. One of my favorite things to see in the kitchen, a beautifully clean scrub sink. Since we're doing a really thorough clean today, I figured I would also use some of this Ceramibrite on my cooktop, because with all of the canning I've been doing this summer, I've got watermarks all over it. They just don't wipe up with the fiber cloth. What is that? Microfiber. They just don't come up with the microfiber cloth that I use. So we'll get this looking brand new. Maybe not exactly brand new, y'all. I think if you are like me and you're somebody whose stove is glass and you do a lot of cooking, you know, little tiny scratches here and there are just pretty much unavoidable. You try, but it's gonna happen. Get our tea kettle back in its designated spot. One more thing checked off the list. I feel like slowly but surely we're making some progress today. So I saved these boxes from when I got my cherries from Azure Standard, and they're really nice heavy duty produce boxes. I think that they will be great for putting my squash in. And then I am going to put them in that bathroom. This one might need to be eaten. It's a little bit dirty. Let me show you guys. What do we think? These little spots, they don't rub off. They look like maybe they might be some kind of fungal thing or mold. You think we need to eat this one soon? I think I'm going to leave it out of the box just in case. Some of these are really cute. You don't ever want to overlook the little ones because they feed us too, even if it's not quite as much. So I think I'll call these good. I could even shut that if I wanted to. And we'll go pop these in that dark bathroom. I have a couple of freeze-dried things I need to put in my pantry. This I freeze-dried the other day. If you have a freeze dryer and you have not tried freeze drying your homemade broth instead of canning it, y'all, it takes up so much less space. This was about a gallon of broth, and you can see less than a quart jar. And this is actually freeze dried cucumber that I shredded up last year when I had an abundance. Thank goodness I did that. But it makes fantastic tzatziki sauce. We had some lamb meatballs and did like Greek bowls recently. And if you've been around, you know, we are not doing dairy anymore. And so we got, I think it was called Kite Hill is the brand. They had an almond milk yogurt and it was really good. It tasted like yogurt, but it was very runny. It wasn't a Greek style yogurt. And the freeze-dried the freeze-dried cucumber, it worked so well to help thicken it up a little bit as it absorbed some of the moisture and got it more to the classic consistency we were looking for. So super happy I have this on my pantry shelves. Well, friends, it's starting to look like it's coming together. Most of the kitchen is looking pretty good. I got to deal with produce if I want this side to look nice and clean. So I think we're going to have to get on that. I have been digging through my baskets of produce and pulling out peppers so we can roast them up and get them put up. That cayenne is not one I need to be roasting. And the counter is definitely starting to look better. I did have a couple of handfuls of things that just needed to go in the trash. You know, sometimes that happens. I'm not a fan of wasting things that I've grown, but I really just was not up to cooking there for a few days. We ate a lot of leftovers and tapped into our canned goods, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. But we're doing our best to deal with it all now. So these are going to go into the oven, get roasted. We'll peel them, chop them up, put them in a Ziploc bag, and stick them in the freezer. No big thing. I do still, however, have some jalapenos I need to deal with, and serranos, and the cayennes. So, ooh, and a really nice looking sun gold cherry tomato. I'm pretty sure those are my favorite kind of cherry tomato. But get this popped into the oven, and I think I'm gonna sweep and mop next. Maybe no, I'll deal with these peppers first. Got my hot peppers all nice and cleaned up here. This is so easy. I'm just chopping the top off, the stem end, and putting them in a baggie. I already have a very full quart bag in the freezer of these. And at some point after the gardening season is over, probably, we will use all of these to make hot sauce and can it up. If you were with me, I think it was this winter, maybe in February, we made hot sauce with last year's peppers. So it's nice to be able to put them away now and use them later. And it means we can wait and do it all in one batch too, which I really like. So if you guys have any tips for making fermented hot sauce, I would love them. The very first time I tried, I did it successfully. And every time after, I have ended up with mold. And so I've kind of given up on fermented hot sauce because I hate to waste something that, you know, took me months to grow. We start our plants in February, March, somewhere in there, and then they don't even really start producing until you get to June and July. And so actually, I'm going to use these as well. I was originally going to make some salsa with those tomatoes over there, but I'm honestly not feeling great. I think I've overdone it. You guys know how it is, I bet. I think a lot of people are like that, where you feel better and so you try and do things, and you should have taken it a little bit easier for longer. I'm kind of in that state. But those are ready for the freezer. And y'all, look at how much better the kitchen is. Ooh, there's a cayenne I missed. So I think I am going to make some lunch. And I am going to sit down and relax. But I did tell you we would make a recipe we've been loving lately together. So we will do that. Super simple, super easy, and really refreshing in this hot weather that most of us have been having. I do want to get all these pepper bits up first. All right, you guys, let's make our spicy tuna bowl. We just need a can of tuna. I have tuna and water from Costco. I really like this stuff. It's the Kirkland Albacore solid white tuna. I have a cat looking for a snack down here around my feet. He heard that can opener and he thought, my turn. Here you go, Benny. Okay, so we're gonna add some mayonnaise, probably about a quarter cup. And this is very subjective, but we're gonna add about a tablespoon of sriracha, maybe a little more. My homemade mayonnaise isn't very salty, so I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. And then we are gonna mix this together. And that's our spicy tuna portion of our bowls. Super easy. So now we're gonna turn this into bowls. I have some leftover rice from a previous meal. Just plain white rice will work. If you wanna use brown rice, you can. I added a little bit of rice wine vinegar just to add a little bit of flavor to this. And we're just gonna put some in our bowls. I'm using jasmine rice, but if you wanted, you could use sushi rice and that would be really great. So I'm gonna bring you guys in closer and you can see how we build our bowls because I think they're really pretty. All right, so this is how we are gonna put our tuna bowls together. Half of our spicy tuna. Add some chopped up cucumber. Some chopped up avocado. This avocado was small enough. If I had more, I would probably actually give us each our own. Some pickled onions. We really enjoy this pickled flavor with our bowl. Last but not least, some sesame seeds. If you wanted, you could add some seaweed crumbled up on here and that would be really delicious. But my mom is not a fan of the seaweed, so we just stick with the sesame seeds. But there you have it. Well, you guys, you can see behind me, the kitchen is so much better than it started out today. I have peppers roasted, they're cooling, sitting on top of the stovetop. But otherwise, the kitchen looks so much better. I'll have to get to those tomatoes at another point, maybe this afternoon or tomorrow, but I'm just very happy. It just is calming to have the kitchen look so much better. And we have a delicious lunch here to eat. Why don't we take a bite together? Because we normally do a taste test. I can tell you, we've eaten this a lot this summer and we are loving it. The flavors just remind me a lot of a spicy tuna roll. And it's so refreshing and cold when it's so hot outside. So I hope you guys will give this a try. I'll write it up and leave it down in the description below. But thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.